Lianne, it's nice to have you here. On our show, we do talk a lot about food. It's one of our favorite things to talk about. But this is the other side of food and snacks and making lunches. It's a huge part of parents' life and also the kids. What do you got to say about that?
Well, lunches for some are absolutely dreaded making them, and I think mostly because it's another chore to do, to add to the day, the evening, the morning, whenever it has to be, whenever time constraints you have, when you can squeeze it in. And then it's also finding the inspiration to make sure that you've got really great healthy lunches. That's what you would like to do. But then with the time, and I don't have the ideas, so I'll just make you a quick, white bread sandwich because I know you'll eat it and it won't come home again. There's a lot going on with lunches. So it's really important to look around new ideas.
Give us an example of something that you put in your blog or on the website at sproutright.com that our listeners can learn from today.
On sproutright.com, we've got a few blogs about back-to-school lunches, what to put in your thermos, because that's a huge part as well. Leftovers, love leftovers and pasta and things like that. And also lots of videos about ideas that I've done this year, say skewers, especially for those kindergarten kids. Those little fingers love the little skewers, and cheese and tomatoes or grates and things like that on skewers. It makes it lots of fun to eat.
Oh, yeah.
That you can put all sorts of things on there. I think in one of the shots that I did, I put green beans, mango, leftover sausage, and tomato. And they just gobbled it up because it's there, and it's kind of fun to pull it off the little skewer or the toothpick.
That is really smart.
Great.
Yeah, I love that.
And, of course, incorporating the leftovers, because I'm huge about that.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to make dinner, you must make too much rice, too much pasta, too much chicken, too much sausage, whatever it is, so that you've got enough for the next day's lunch, whatever it happens to be, next day's dinner, all of those kind of things. Roast a whole chicken on Sunday, so you've got bits and pieces to maybe top on top of a pizza, for instance, later in the week.
Lianne, I just got to, when you're saying all of this, Lianne, I think it's great. And I can tell you why. I mean, you think back, when I was going to high school, and just the amount of fries and gravy I drove in my body. And I remember when I was at Mohawk College, too, and this is, before the culinary explosion, that I used to eat, and I envisioned going to the Arnie and getting this piece of pizza, which probably had more carbohydrates and more fat and more whatever.
Yep.
And, we didn't care as much, but now you need to care.
Well, you do. And I think the thing was, let's say you are dealing with teenage kids and they're going to eat at the cafeteria or buy stuff off campus or, off the school ground or whatever it happens to be, is really just about teaching them as early as you can about what makes a good meal. So even at this age, my kids are 9 and 7 and they make their lunches. And if they say, I just want this, I ask, where's your protein going to be? They roll their eyes at me, but then we have to find a protein because they know that their lunch needs to be balanced with carbs, proteins, and there always has to be a fruit and vegetable. So those are the boundaries of whatever lunch they take with them. Mm-hmm. It has to have all those components. So for kids where that at school they're not going to eat what you would choose for them to eat, you just have to make up for it at home, right? You can't force them when they're trying to be cool with their friends and they don't want to ruin their street cred over their lunchbox. Mm-hmm. Then, kind of just give it a rest. Pick your battles, and then when they're at home, load them up on vegetables and say, this is to make up for you having your fries and gravy or whatever it happens to be. So here's our balance. This is what we're going to do to make sure that you're still getting healthy meals in. And for breakfast, they have smoothies with 4 fruits or whatever, and throw in spinach and vegetables and all those, kale or whatever it is, so that around that time when they're at school and you haven't got control with the older ones, then you're doing whatever you can. So don't beat yourself up, or certainly don't argue with them about it, because you're just going to lose anyway.
That's the voice of Lianne Phillipson. Her website, sproutright.com. For more of that wisdom, just go to the site, right, Lianne?
Yep, absolutely. Check it out. There's loads of information there for you.